We are here with Tiffany Semanski today, who has been our human resource intern for the last few months. Go ahead and explain a little bit about yourself, a little bit about your background, where you come from.
My name is Tiffany Semanski. I was raised in the United Arab Emirates, where I graduated high school, and then I came to the United States, and now I'm going to Colorado State University, majoring in industrial organizational psychology.
Go ahead and explain your type of internship that you did here and where we found you and how long you were with us.
So I found an ad on Craigslist looking for business administration interns, and when I had done my interview, I told them that my 5-year plans were to be in human resources management, hopefully with a master's degree in that field one day, and I was then given the opportunity to take on an HR internship aside from just a standard business admin. So I was able to take on projects like surveys, I was able to do employee orientation and interviews, as well as the application process.
What are some projects that you worked on during your internship?
So the first project I worked on was survey. The owner had come to me and said he's interested in knowing what the interns think about their programs, whether it be videography, sustainability, or business admin. So he told me he wanted me to come up with a way to collect that data from them. So I suggested doing a survey, both halfway in between the program and then once the program has been completed. So that was the first project that I did, and it was a huge success. And the next project I did was, our inboxes were becoming very crowded with applicants, lots of applications every day. So I developed a website in which people who wanted to apply could go on, look at everything they wanted to about the company, and apply right there. And we would get a nice little folder in our inboxes of their resume, their cover letter, and the application. And that was the second project I worked on, and those were two really cool. I'm happy I got that experience. That was nice.
Do you feel you had the resources to complete those projects?
This isn't a huge company, so human resources isn't necessary in a company that's as small as this one. But a lot of my resources I did find off the internet, and I took from the classes that I had been attending in college that really focused on survey development and design. So here I did not get much of the resources. It was mainly going out on a whim, doing a lot of my own research. I researched for over 6 hours on both surveys to find the perfect questions and make sure that they're screening for the things I want them to. And I'm getting the answers out of people that I want.
What are some additional resources you would like to have seen?
I would have liked that there would have been an HR department. When I had first come into the company, I wasn't aware that there wasn't one. And I think it would have been nice if I could have learned how to use human resources software, since there is software out there. And even though I've been with the company for 6 months, like I said earlier, I have learned a lot of clerical things, but it would have been nice if I could have learned HR software as well as that.
Do you feel your internship was a valuable learning experience?
I do, yeah. I definitely learned a lot about employee conflict resolution, for sure. I learned, the best ways to and not to answer the phone, or to pay attention and to be serious when you're writing emails, and that when you're talking to people, they're not always necessarily your friend, and you need to be more professional. So I've grown up a lot throughout this 6 months, for sure.
How do you think your internship will help you move into a career?
Hopefully, with all the clerical experience I've gotten a chance to experience, and that will be helpful in my future career, as well as I love that I got to do surveys. That is so important in psychology. Survey design is huge, and knowing what your employees think about your company is huge, because your employees are your company, and if you keep them happy, your company will thrive from that. And I think that's a valuable thing to know going into my next professional job, knowing that I'm valued and that I value my company as well.
Describe your relationship with your supervisor.
I love you, Josh. I think you are fantastic. You are the most supportive person. You're a great supervisor, and you really helped me along the way through my internships. You guided me and you mentored me, and it was, yeah, I would, if I started my own company, I would hire you in an instant.
Was your supervisor easily accessible?
I remember you were on vacation in Vegas and I had a work question and you still responded to me even though you were on vacation. So yes, you were always there when I need you to be.
How respectful was your supervisor?
You were very respectful. You never said anything that offended me and I never felt uncomfortable around you. And a lot of times I actually felt like you were a friend of mine and I could bring my personal problems to you and you could even help me work through that.
Describe your interaction with other staff.
I think some of the conflicts would have come in with the other interns, but other than that, the other supervisors were great. They were always there when I needed them, if I needed help or if I had questions about anything. They were very supportive.
Do you feel I, as your internship coordinator, was a good resource throughout your internship?
I think you were a good resource when it came to proper etiquette, knowing how to answer the phone the right way, knowing how to present yourself as a professional, and knowing how to write emails.
Now that you have completed or you're close to completing your internship and knowing everything that you know, would you choose to do it again?
It was nice in the beginning because I'd never worked in a professional environment before, so working along with people who I've never worked with before, varying ages and everything. Now, 6 months down the road, I know how to deal with people differently than I used to before. So I would never take back this experience for anything, but I definitely have learned from this and I'm ready to move on.
What was your favorite part of the internship program?
I would definitely say my favorite was the people that I met. I became so close with everybody in the office. They've all become like my best friends and I hope I can stay in touch with them after I leave, but that was by far my most favorite. All the interns, everybody I worked with were just fantastic.
What was the single most exciting event that you did during your internship?
The most exciting thing I did was when I made my website for applications. I was so excited when I saw the first 7 people used it and just trying it out and tweaking it and making everything perfect, and that to see that everyone was using it and that the owner wanted to use this and that you wanted me to use this and you wanted to use it yourself. The whole application, it was just fantastic. I was so excited. I felt like I was doing something for the company that was beneficial.
What was your least favorite part of the internship program?
My least favorite part of the internship would have to be oftentimes my ideas, it's not that they would go unrecognized, but the company wouldn't find them efficient at the time, and I would try not to take that personally. Like, it's not like my idea is bad or that they don't want to use it because of any other reason other than it's just not efficient at the time. And that's all I didn't like, and it's hard as an intern to think that, you know, everyone thinks their ideas are fantastic and everyone's happy when they use your ideas, but when you don't, it's hard not to take it personally, but it's definitely my least favorite. For example, when Wayne had asked me about finding ways to create a newsletter and then sending the newsletter out to all of the interns. I had created a sample newsletter, but unfortunately it didn't catch on like the other projects I did, and that upset me a little bit, but I realize now that it wasn't anything against me.
What are some things you feel were missing from the internship?
I think this internship needs more supervisors. So for example, the sustainability, we had Hayden and we had Justin. I think that especially in sustainability, everybody wants to do something different. Some interns want to come in because they want to do data, some want to do plants, some want to do fish farming. I think that we should have supervisors for each one of those positions, not just 2 supervisors who run everything. Because there is a time where we can have up to 13 sustainability interns at a time, and not everybody is comfortable asking questions or just jumping right in and saying, hey, can you help me? I'm new here. So I think that the supervisors should definitely be more attentive to the new interns, as well as more supportive. And I think when we have high mass interns like that, we should definitely have more supervisors to help them along.
Well, that concludes our interview, but before we go, what do you think you can do to make the planet a better place?
My goal, hopefully, to make not only the planet but businesses a better place is that I hope when I'm in human resources management, I can come up with new ways to form employee, supervisor interactions. You know, we should definitely take more time to get to know each other. you know, and a lot of times people get very defensive when they're just taking orders, I suppose, from a supervisor, whereas, you know, it would be so much better if it was like you and I, the level of trust and respect that we have for each other. If other people could have that in their businesses too, then I think theirs would thrive as well. And I hope one day to find a way to better implement that.
Well, we were delighted to have you here as part of our family, and we hope you stay in touch and let us know where life leads you.